My friend, if you're struggling finding, vetting, training, and managing virtual team members for your real estate business, I have the solution for you. Call Magicians is the premier virtual assistant company in the real estate industry. And basically what they'll do is allow you to focus on closing more deals and doing the things you love while they handle the work for you. Head over to callmagicians.com and see if you're a good fit to work together. And make sure you use the promo code FLIPEMPIRE for a 20% discount off your startup fee. And by the way, the owner's a friend of mine and shares tons of value, gives a lot of useful tips on episode 540. So check it out at flipempire.com/540.
You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
Welcome, my friends. You are now listening to episode 563 on the Flip Empire Show. My name is Alex Pardo, and I want to go ahead and dive into today's podcast. You know, I just got back from Phoenix, Arizona, where I was spending about 3 days with some of the top self-storage investors across the country. A good friend of mine, Mike Wagner from the Storage Rebellion, puts on that event a couple times a year. And, you know, on the flight back, I was coming up with, I was really reviewing the action plan that I came up with at the end of that event. And I was looking through things I'm going to implement, things I'm going to take off my plate. And these are all things that I always kind of filter through my vision, as you've probably heard me speak on the podcast in the past about. And, you know, I was looking at, every time I go to these events, I always come out with a list of book recommendations. I don't know if you can relate to that, but on a side note, you know, one of the things that I think you want to ask yourself is my circle people that are recommending books, or are they recommending shows? In other words, do my friends, the people in my ecosystem, are they more about recommending books, events, podcasts, etc., i.e. things that are going to elevate and improve your life? Or are your friends more about talking about sports and shows? Not that there's anything wrong with that at all, but I think it would be interesting for you to just kind of take note, take inventory or stock of, do your friends push you and send you books or recommend certain things that are going to help you? Or is it more superficial talk, things that are not really going to help you ascend in life or business? So just kind of a mental note, something that I thought about on the ride back from Phoenix to Miami. And along those lines, I want to go ahead and share with you, you know, about a week or so ago, one of our Ascend members, Anthony Kuski, fantastic guy. I've had him on the podcast before, so we'll link that up in the show notes. He posted in our private Ascend Facebook group, and he basically added some screenshots from a book that he's been reading called The Wealthy Gardener. Now, another one of our Ascend members, Lee Garcia, just recently sent that book to me in the mail. So Lee, so appreciate it, man. I know you're probably listening to the podcast, so super grateful for you sending me that book. But this is a book, The Wealthy Gardener, that has been floating around within Ascend for a while now. And I finally decided I have to shoot this thing to the top of the list after reading the screenshots that Anthony posted. So I want to go ahead and read this to you. And I really want to challenge and encourage you not to check out because I'm reading it, because this hit me square between the eyes. And it's something that I think you can really just gain a lot of insight and perspective from. You know, we have a lot of our members have transitioned from being single family operators to commercial investors. I being one of them, right? Last year I transitioned after running a wholesaling operation for 15 plus years. I transitioned into the self-storage world. And, you know, just last month closed on a 357 unit, 43,000 square foot facility in Jackson, Mississippi. And that has required getting outside of my comfort zone. And so to that end, I want to go ahead and start by reading. This is an excerpt from The Wealthy Gardener, which is a book that has been highly, highly recommended by so many people. So here we go. Discomfort is uneasiness caused by risk of criticism or failure, unfamiliarity or uncertainty. The prosperous life requires a walk into discomforts and temporary inconveniences. Ray Dalio described these discomfort bridges as passing trials to attain our fullest prosperity. Imagine that in order to have a great life, you have to cross a dangerous jungle, he wrote. You can stay safe where you are and have an ordinary life, or you can risk crossing the jungle to have a terrific life. How would you approach that choice? Take a moment to think about it, because it's a sort of choice that in one form or another, we all have to make. Self-actualization and the accumulation of riches is a reward unavailable for comfort seekers. The way to our best life involves bridges of discomfort, and every bridge is only a temporary passageway that leads to the other side. When I invested in my first rental unit decades ago, I repeated the math for hours in the morning before signing the contract. It may seem like a trivial deal today, but my unfamiliarity with real estate deals caused enormous discomfort. In the end, I bought the rental as my sweaty hands shook. My heart raced. I felt scared, and I prayed to God that I wasn't making a foolish mistake. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to another part here. If we are not a little bit uncomfortable every day, Jack Canfield reminds us, we're not growing. All the good stuff is outside of our comfort zone. Freedom in life requires stepping onto bridges of discomfort. Those who aspire to gain wealth must accept uncertainty and vulnerability. We must forever choose ambition over comfort, effort over ease, exertions over excuses, and contribution over complacency. Nobody ever died of discomfort, yet living in the name of comfort, said T. Harv Eker, has killed more ideas, more opportunities, more actions, and more growth than everything else combined. Comfort kills. This is the last little section I'll read to you, and then I'm going to share some thoughts. You will either step forward into growth, said Abraham Maslow, or you will step back into safety. Discomfort is the bridge between where we are and where we want to be. We either cross this bridge, accept the uneasiness, discomfort, and fear, or we stay where we are. Wow. So much to unpack there. But again, I want to keep this episode short and sweet. When I read that, it resonated with me so much, because even launching this podcast 5+ years ago was a step out onto that bridge. It was a bridge filled with discomfort, and I'm glad I did it, because had I not chosen uncertainty and vulnerability and ambition over comfort, effort over ease, contribution over complacency, I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't have had the opportunity to connect with hundreds and thousands of people that have listened to the show or that have left a review. It wouldn't have opened up the doors and opportunities, and most importantly, the relationships, the ability to contribute. I'm so glad that 5+ years ago, I chose contribution over complacency. And what I really want you to do is think about, are you choosing comfort over ambition? Where in your life or business have you chosen ease over effort? Or have you thrown out excuses instead of just displayed exertion? So that hit me right between the eyes of, just really asking yourself, doing a thought audit and asking that, I say I want freedom, but am I choosing a life of comfort over discomfort? Again, going back to the most recent example in the self-storage world, I had to step out into the uncertainty. And as a result, now I'm experiencing a level of cash flow on that side of the business that I wasn't experiencing in the single family world. And the ability to potentially raise the value of that property by $1 million in close to a year is what we're projecting. So I really want to challenge you, and I want this episode to act as a thermometer. Where are you in your life right now as it relates to comfort or discomfort? Because I can tell you that a healthy discomfort is going to help you grow. And as it says here, you're either going to step forward into that growth or you're going to retreat back into safety. Discomfort is the bridge between where we are, where we want to be. We either cross this bridge, accept the uneasiness or discomfort and fear, or we stay where we are. Going back to, as I start to wrap up the show, going back to not this last Ascend Mastermind retreat, but the previous one of the big takeaways was, you're going to have to get rid of your old life to attain the new life that you want, but you can't have both. So you have to pick one or the other. People talk a big game about their goals, what they want, the things they're going to attain, whether it's material or otherwise. But what separates those that succeed from those that don't is that those that succeed back it up by action. It's not just a dream in the middle of the night, but it's backed by action. And so I really want this episode to just kind of, again, Act as a gauge. Where are you right now? Are you pushing yourself? Are you challenging yourself? Have you been wanting to start a podcast, write a book, speak on stage, make that uncomfortable phone call? What is it that you've been wanting to do that you've put off because you've chosen to seek comfort over discomfort? That's what I got for you on today's show. I'm going to leave it there. So appreciate those of you who have taken an opportunity to leave a 5-star rating and review, or really any rating and review. I read every single one. I'm extremely grateful for them. And what I would really ask you to do is, if you can't do that, share this episode with somebody. Go ahead and share it. Tag me on social media. Would love to start a conversation with you. And just, I'm going to continue to pour into you through this podcast. Reach out if there's anything that I might be able to do for you. I've had a couple of people reach out wanting to find out more about Ascend, feeling like it's a good fit. If that's the case and that's you, ascendyoursuccess.com will kickstart that process. Other than that, as always, I'm really, really, really looking forward to just connecting with you on the next one. Have an amazing day. And remember, choose discomfort over comfort. Choose uncertainty and vulnerability over certainty. Choose ambition over comfort, effort over ease, and contribution over complacency. Have an awesome one. Talk to you soon.